Okay, I guess we're good. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Community Preservation Committee, December 2nd meeting. The time now is 6:05, and we are going to start off the meeting with just quickly posting the agenda so that you can see what's going on tonight. It's a pretty packed schedule. All right. Sure. Okay. The Community Preservation Committee meets every Tuesday at 6 p.m. on the first Tuesday of the month. The minutes and agendas for all meetings are available on the meeting portal of the city website. You can view the remote meetings here on Facebook for 30 days and then over on the Focus Springfield playlist. The agenda is in front of you. And now I'm getting feedback. And we're going to start off tonight by the Historic Homes Lottery. But first, Bob McCarroll will introduce the committee. And that's it. Thank you for joining us tonight. Bob. So we might have lost Bob. Maybe introduce yourselves tonight. Rhonda, why don't you start?
Yes, I'm Rhonda Sherrill, a neighborhood resident of Old Hill.
Okay. Steve?
Hi, Steve Bosworth. I'm neighborhood representative, and I live in McKnight.
Okay. Willie? Willie, are you there? Willie Thomas?
I'm sorry, I guess I should turn it on, the volume on, huh?
Yeah, good.
That would help.
We're all together tonight.
I'm Willie Thomas. I represent the Springfield Housing Authority.
Okay, and Rosemary?
I've got myself on mute because I was coughing and I don't want it to interrupt the meeting. So if I'm not talking, I'll probably keep it on mute.
Okay.
And not that you can catch anything through the phone, but still. Anyway, Rosemary Morin, and I'm representing the planning board.
Okay, thank you. All right, Bob, you're up.
Yeah, and I'm back from my technical difficulties.
Oh,
I'm
there he
Bob
is.
McCarroll. I chair the chair the committee, and I am the representative of the Springfield Preservation Trust. So the first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of our November meeting. You should have received it. If someone could make a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
A
Rosemary.
second? A second?
I second.
Okay, any changes or corrections? If not, then we will take the vote. Rosemary,
Aye.
Rhonda,
Aye.
Willie,
And I missed the meeting.
all right, Steve,
Yes.
and Bob is a yes. The next item is the Historic Homes Lottery, which we have once a year. City Council has refunded it. And Karen will take over and conduct it.
Okay. So a little bit of background, the Historic Homes Restoration Program. The Springfield Community Preservation Committee recommended funding again this year for the program, and this is for homeowners. The program is unique to Springfield and the only CPA community in the Commonwealth to give direct grants to homeowners of historic properties. Funds are reserved for individuals who own and occupy a home built after 1940 and living in the eligible local historic districts, which are Quadrangle Mattoon, Forest Park Heights, McKnight, Maple Hill, Lower Maple, Ridgewood, and Colony Hills. A postcard was recently mailed to each new registered homeowner who moved into a district in the past year. Local media and social networks were used to promote the lottery. This year, we have 262 addresses that met the resident requirement for this drawing. And to date, 49 homes have received a CPA grant, and at least another 10 homes will be funded tonight. This is the lottery selection process. All 262 addresses are placed into a pool, and selection is made by a random generator that will sort the 262 addresses and assign each a number to each home according to the number of applications submitted, 1 through 262. The order or date an application was received by us is not part of the selection process. It's all random. 2, lottery funds available are $300,000. A generous sliding scale of eligibility allows for a maximum grant of $30,000 and a minimum grant of $15,000 per household, provided other program requirements are met. Homeowners selected will agree to complete exterior work according to the Secretary of the Interior standards for historic properties. 3, the first 10 addresses will be contacted. If a homeowner is found ineligible or chooses not to move forward or does not qualify for a full grant, addresses number 11 will be contacted, and so on until the funds are depleted. The Historic Homes Restoration Program is supported by the Community Preservation Act and the City of Springfield. All funding for this program has been allocated by the Springfield Community Preservation Committee, and the deadline to apply for tonight's lottery was Sunday, November 30th. Okay, so let me pull up and share with you the screen so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, these are the addresses that are going into the lottery, and as you can see, there are 262. It says 263 here, but we eliminate the top, which is the header. So we're going to pull up these 262 addresses, and I'm scrolling fast, but once they come out, I'll crawl through it so people can see where they fall. All right, and I need to move this out of the way so I can see where I'm going. Okay, and they're entered into this randomizer here, and the number to pick is 262. So once this is drawn now, it's going to show the order 1 through 262. So here we go. There we go. All right. So first on the list, congratulations to 175 St. James, 1127 Worthington Street, 46 Randolph Street, 127 Forest Park Ave, 119 Maplewood Terrace, 123 Thompson Street, 34 Cornell Street, 166 Buckingham Street, 120 Buckingham Street, and 208 Belmont Ave. And I'm going to just go scroll this a little bit slow so people can see where they fall on this list. You should see the end that there are 262 positions. It's taking a little bit long here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. 262, 44 Washington. Okay. I can stop sharing this. Any questions? Or I think we're all set, Bob. And the 10 winners will be contacted within the next few days or so. And congratulations to everyone, to the winners. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you, Karen, and we look forward to working with these new property owners. The next series of items on the agenda regarding, as regards contracts that we have with previous awardees, and the first is regarding the Rainville Hotel and Newport Terrace project on Buyer Street with Wayfinders. And they're asking for an extension. So if you could just give us then a slight overview of the project and why you need an extension.
Hi. So my name is Vandana Serene, and I'm a senior project manager with Wayfinders. And I have with me my colleague Jamie Gruber, who is also a senior project manager. We've been Jamie's been shepherding this deal before I got here a year ago at Wayfinders. So it's always good to have some historical context. So in October of 2021, we were approved to get 250,000 in CPA funding from your committee for the Newcoat Rainville development, and to support the the redevelopment of these two properties. We excited to tell you that we've just submitted at 5 p.m. today the low-income housing tax credit pre-application to the Executive Office of Housing and Living Communities, DHCD formerly. So we are kind of in the running to get these deals funded by the summer if we are invited to do the one-stop full application, which is due in March. And so this funding is a critical component to show matching and leverage funds from the city of Springfield, to kind of show the commitment by the city and that we are all working together to get this project redeveloped and upgraded. So the grant that you have provided is soon to expire. There was an extension given 2 years, past 2 years ago. But as you know, because of COVID and other situations, it was delayed. And so right now, this is the timing for it. So that's why we are requesting another 3-year extension. Our timeline is to get it funded in the summer, and then we will do a construction closing in spring of 2027. And it will go under construction for about 18 to 20 months. And it will be a rehab, occupied rehab construction, and fully placed in service in 2019. Oh, sorry, 2029. So that's the program right now, and that's why we're requesting a bit of an extension so that we can work with the redevelopment plan for the funding and also for the construction period.
All right, thank you. A question, are you also going after the historic tax credits?
Yes, we are. They are part, and we have been applying for the historic tax credit, state historic credits, for both all 4 buildings. We also have the NSP Part 1 and Part 2 approved for the 4 buildings. So yeah, we are quite prepared at this time. So it will be a combination of low-income housing tax credits as well as historic tax credits, federal as well as state. And then the state, some of the state funding will be there. And so this CPA funding is a critical component of our funding stack.
Any questions from other committee members?
Bob, I have one. Not having been, I don't think I was here on the original approval of this. What's the, Vandana, could you just tell me what the total housing unit looks like on this one?
Yeah, sure, unit mix. So there are 4 buildings. The Rainville has 40 at the end of the day, Rainville will have 44 new developed units in it with an elevator installed because that was one of the requirements to make it accessible and visitable, along with a new community room. So that would be for Rainville, 44 units. And then for Newcote Terrace, there are 45 total units. 16 of them are family units, 8 in each building. And then we have another 29 in the 88 Fire Street, which is a very handsome building and has some studios and one-bedroom units in it.
Oh, that's a bunch. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so we have some studios, one bedrooms, 2 and 3 bedroom units. There are only 16 family units, which are 2 and 3 bedrooms, but they're really, again, very well, the occupancy level is very high at 90-95% throughout the year. So they are in good demand, but they do need some, especially Rainville has not had any rehab done since the past 30 plus years. And Newcote Terrace has not had any update since 2005. And one of our goals will also be to do some, energy retrofit and meet the decarbonization goals for the Commonwealth through the rehab. It's not easy because it's historic.
Oh, it's interesting. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Bob, it's Rosemary.
Yes.
I know that Wayfinders has been working on this for years. And so it's already been several years and we got to this point. And it's going to be a number of years now before it's really built out. How is all that time affecting the costs? Is the money that you're applying for, is it going to cover it all? Or are you going to have to come back and request more money? Or is that the maximum we can offer?
No, actually, it's a really good question, Rosemary, because I was in communication with Karen previously, and we were kind of I was checking in on if we could request an additional 250 from the committee as we move into the second round. We had applied to the city of Springfield for home funding, but I'm not sure if that is available. They have not announced it. And that was for 500,000, and that would have helped also in the whole, capital pooling of the funds. And in absence of that, we were hoping that we can come back to you for some additional funding um, that may be available from the CPA once we get the extension. So yeah, in some ways, the cost is kind of dependent on the scope of work that we're doing. Previously, we were not doing decarbonization in 2019. It was not a target for the Commonwealth either. It was kind of a pilot, but now the Commonwealth is asking us to target energy, kind of a retrofit in a little bit more rigorous way. So we do have some targets to meet for the affordable housing criteria, which is the enterprise green criteria, which will make these units much more energy efficient going forward. So that's the additional cost that we're incurring based from the last time.
Bob, since I'm new on this committee, I just know the history from Wayfinders. But have we added to other projects in the past? If somebody's requested an increase, does that happen? Like I said, I don't have a history here with,
Well, we certainly allow agencies, the groups to have multiple year applications because we cap our recommendation every year. So there have been groups, like Kilroy House at the Springfield Museums.
yeah,
They applied over a 3-year period to get that house done.
okay,
With the Gemini Townhomes down on Central Street, they applied over, twice. So the answer is sure.
okay,
Deadline is late February, and they're in the pool with however many other applicants, and we may recommend them and we may not. So
Okay.
there's no guarantee, but yes, they can apply.
Okay, thank you. I'm just getting the feel of everything and
Yeah,
how it works, so
sure.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions from committee members? All right. So once again, you're requesting an extension to what date, please?
So presently, this is expiring in February of 2026. Is it correct, Jamie? Can you help? Yeah, February 28, 2026. So we are requesting to extend it from 3 years, from 26 to February of 2029. We, of course, it is our hope that we will not need it beyond 2027, because we would like to be under construction by then. But this is just in case that we don't have to kind of come back to you in short order.
Yeah, okay. So if I could have a motion from one of the committee members and then a second, and then we will have a discussion to extend the Wayfinders contract to February 28th, 2029.
Hmm.
That is my motion.
Thank you, Willie. A second, please, from someone?
Second.
All right. Any discussion from committee members? Any comments? Any discussion? Everyone understands the motion? No comments. So we will then take the vote. Willie,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
Rosemary,
Yes.
and Bob is a yes.
All right. Thank you so
Good.
much for your
So just a word to do your research. If you are going to apply in the upcoming cycle, you need to know that the CPA, in general, the rules that are ensconced in the state law, that CPA cannot help rehabilitate community housing that wasn't either created or acquired with CPA money. We can help preserve it. And there is a subtle difference. So I'm going to give you an example. The money that we have going in with the 250,000 is for the roofs. Because if you don't keep rain out, you don't preserve a building. We cannot be involved in things like energy savings. Nice idea, but that's rehabilitation. New bathrooms, new wiring, so things that are necessary to preserve the building, and that more or less means the outdoor envelope. If you have leaky windows that don't work, we can help with that. If you simply want better energy efficient windows, can't help with it. So if you're going to be applying, please craft your application for things that are CPA eligible.
Thank you, Bob, for going over that, because as a newcomer, that is so helpful, because we definitely have more than enough to preserve in these.
Yes, and my guess your roofs alone could suck up more than the 250. So we want to be helpful if we can, but we need to follow the state law.
No, that's very helpful. And the plan is right now, because they are more than 25, 30 years, that all the roofs will be, replaced. And we have some really good preservation needs for especially the Hotel Rainville.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you so much. And we will now move on to the next item, which is a request coming from Parks, the Park Department, with Laura Walsh presenting. And Karen, while Laura's doing her presentation on Angelina Park and then Godfrey Triangle, would you contact our missing members to make sure that either one, they haven't forgotten, and two, they're not having technical issues?
I will do that.
Thank
Good
you all
evening,
again.
everybody. Thank you for adding me to the agenda. I appreciate it. Angelina Park, for remembrance, is in the East Springfield neighborhood. This is on the corner of Curve Street and Page Boulevard over by that when you come off 291 into the East Springfield neighborhood, it's in that section of the city. And we're putting in a walking path, an asphalt walking path, and installing some new accessible playground equipment. There's 3 major elements that are going in. There's a what's called an omni swing, which is kind of like a tire swing, but it's more of an updated inclusive swing so that people of all abilities can use it. And then there is a climbing structure and a omni spinner, which is very fun and a highlight of many playgrounds. So the project started construction back in June. We were doing great. We had great weather. Everything was going wonderfully. We have a good contractor called Barco Construction. And then in August, unfortunately, the foreman for Barco, his name is Chris, he got injured at another job site. And it's kind of, Barco Construction is a bit of a one-man operation. It's not as big as a Mountain View Construction or some of the other firms that we work with where they had extra personnel that they could just send over. It was a bit of a smaller operation. And unfortunately, he was unable to work for a few months because he was in the hospital with he had from his injury then resulted a blood infection that he was dealing with. So it kind of snowballed for him a little bit. But he got better. He's doing much better. He's healthy and back at work. Unfortunately, by the time he started getting back to work, we were starting to head into the cooler fall weather and things there. They are continuing to work currently. Obviously, today's snow does affect things, but he was able to get the asphalt path in. I was just out there on Friday, and the playground equipment was going in. So they were making as much progress as they could in season, but the poured in place surfacing that we're installing at the new playground elements, that's that rubberized safety surface that goes at the playground instead of the wood chips to make it more accessible for folks. That can only be installed in a certain temperature range. And as we were having cooler temperatures overnight that were 30 degrees and under, the poured in place season has already ended. So even if he was able to get everything in before all the snow and everything, we would not have been able to put the poured in place in. That window of installation will open up again in the spring. Again, it's weather dependent, but we're anticipating that if we have a warm spring, we can get that in, hopefully April, the earliest, May time, and then we would be finished with construction there. But like I said, the path is done, the benches, the picnic tables, everything else is done. It's just this little component of the playground elements. And unfortunately, we can't open the playground until you have the safety surfacing installed, because you wouldn't want anyone to get hurt. So that is the reason we're requesting another extension from Angelina from what was the December 31st, 2025 extension to June 30th, 2026, so the PIP can be installed in the spring.
Okay, thank you, Laura. So if we could have a motion, well, first we'll see if we have any questions. So does anyone have any questions of Laura? I don't see any questions. So if we could have a motion to extend the contract to June 30th, 2026.
I motion to extend the contract to June 30th, 2026.
Thank you, Rhonda. And a second, please.
Second,
Thank you, Rosemary. So any discussion from committee members? No. All right. Well, we'll start the voting then. Rhonda,
Yes.
Rosemary,
yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
and Bob is a yes. All right. So we'll get that in play. And
Thank you
now
very much.
Godfrey Triangle.
Yes, so Godfrey Triangle, this phase 2 of Godfrey Triangle, and again, for those who aren't aware, Godfrey Triangle is located in Indian Orchard. It's on Berkshire Ave across from the JFK Middle School there, when there's a big curve, and there's an open space terrace that has been there since about city owned since about 1927. There's a World War I monument, and previous phases of CPA helped us install some benches there and really and some trees and things like that. So the area, and then this phase 2 of Godfrey Triangle had 3 major components. One was to restore the missing bronze eagle from the monument, which had unfortunately been missing or stolen from some date back in the 80s or 90s. We're not entirely sure when it went missing, but that has now been replaced. It's beautiful, it's on site, and we've made sure to secure it, triply secure it, so hopefully it will not fly away again. And then also included are some type of lighting for the flagpole, and then irrigation for the site. We have some solar light options that we're working with to try and get that flagpole lit, and then the irrigation. We started the irrigation this fall, and whenever you're doing water, there's multiple layers that have to be approved by Springfield Water and Sewer in order to, get the system turned on and all of that. So we started the installation back in, I want to say August, September, and it's a relatively small site, so the thought was that it would all have been done by now. There had been some delays with Springfield Water and Sewer going back and forth with the contractor. And unfortunately, although the irrigation system is installed on site, we weren't able to see it running before the water got turned off for the season. So we cannot fully accept the project from the vendor until we see the system operational, which is why we're requesting that small extension to June, so that again, as soon as the weather allows in the spring, we can get that system operational and close out the project.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions of committee members regarding this project? All right, so I would like to hear a motion that we extend the contract for Godfrey Triangle to June 30th, 2026.
So move. Second.
All right, well, I heard I think Steve is the mover and Willie is the seconder. Was that correct?
Accurate.
All right. So any comments from committee members before we take the vote? Hearing none. Steve,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
Rosemary,
Yes.
and Bob is a yes as well. So we'll get that paperwork
uh,
going. Oh, did I miss someone?
Yeah, Juanita,
Oh,
sorry,
oh.
I just came in. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Better late than never.
This is what happens when you don't pay attention to what day it is.
Oh.
I'm really sorry, but I did read it. So yes, I'm voting yes.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Very good. So
Thank
we're
you very
all
much.
set. I mean, I have to say, they had a Veterans Day celebration or service up there that that some of us attended, and the monument and the eagle look really great.
Oh, thank you. This has
yeah.
been a fun project, Bob. I did want to tell you, I talked to Alex about that tree that was leaning, and he's going to get
Oh.
it staked out. So
Good, good.
Okay.
that should
Yeah.
be corrected as well. So thank you very much for your support.
That's good. And just as to point out, especially for Rosemary, both of these projects were projects that came before the committee twice. They came one year and they got some money, not the cap, they got less of the cap, and then they came back for additional work. So
Okay.
another example of where we do things over time.
I appreciate that. It's clearer to me now. Thank you.
And I
All
appreciate
right.
it because it
Very
keeps me
good.
busy. So thank you
All
very
right.
much.
So the next item on the agenda under contracts is terminating the existing contract we have with the former owner of the gun block at 477 State Street. This was a project that received a recommendation from us and a city council vote in 2023. The gun block is one of the oldest commercial buildings left in Springfield, dating from around the 1830s, 1840s. It's sitting vacant and deteriorated and has been that way for several years. We gave back in early CPA days in 2018, 2019, Developed Springfield, which owned the building, money to stabilize it because it was in a state of collapse. They then sold it to this Connecticut developer who was going to finish the renovation. Well, he never did anything. We never even got to the point of making a contract with him. And he has sold the building. And for those of you that were at last month's meeting, we made a commitment to recommend the city council the amount that he was going to get. Well, we now have to technically cancel our commitment to him. So if anyone's got questions, if not, then we'll move to a motion. Rosemary, you're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, I motioned to cancel the contract to, what, do we have his name or? To the,
It's Thomas Napolitano. So
okay, to Thomas Napolitano. So what happens is we just replace it with a new commitment?
no,
The one that we voted on last month.
So the one that we voted on last month went to city council last night.
Okay,
The city council voted to give the new owner, whom we met with, 250,000. Our finance folks said, well, you just can't change the name of the
Okay.
person. It has to be a new financial order.
okay.
So the new owner has been granted $250,000, and we need now to free up the 250 that's
By
from the
canceling
old-
his.
Yes.
Okay, I
yes.
move to cancel it.
All right, a second?
I'll second it.
All right, so any comments by committee members? All right, hearing none, we'll start the vote to cancel the commitment that we have with the old owner of the gun block. So Rosemary,
Yes,
Juanita,
Yes,
Rhonda,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
and Bob is a yes. All right. So that ends the section on contracts. The other item that we have to do tonight is to formally adopt our community preservation plan. We reviewed most of it at our last meeting. There are some additional items that we feel need to be added in for clarity. And Karen, if you could start screen sharing on it. The biggest was, it came out of actually last night's city council meeting, as I explained to the council that we allow off-cycle applications in the case of an emergency or a market opportunity. And some councilors took that as, well, we have emergency funds that people can apply for, which is not the case. We will consider going through the process for someone who has an emergency. And so we need to better define what an emergency is. I think at least when the committee first formed those words, it was talking about an unforeseen issue that would come up. And so Karen has put together some criteria that better clarifies what an emergency is and then what the process is. Now, I don't know about the rest of you. I can't read that, Karen. It's far too small. So either if we can enlarge it or you can read it, because I can't.
Okay. Let me see if I can enlarge it a little bit. I mean, that's a little better, right? Maybe.
No.
Not really.
Not really. Okay.
There you go.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, that's better.
But I think it's still good if you read it as well.
Okay. So this is being proposed and it's up for discussion. Off-cycle requests. The CPC may consider hearing an off-cycle request outside of the regular grant cycle under extraordinary circumstances. It's a multi-step process. 1, the applicant formally requests the CPC to hear the request. 2, the CPC votes to proceed with the project. And A, if a majority of the committee members agree, the applicant completes a full application and gives a 5-minute presentation with question and answer from CPC members, which you all did for the last 2 off cycles. B, or if a majority disagree, the applicant is encouraged to apply again in the regular grant cycle. 3, if the project is heard and is recommended, the project is presented to the City Council for approval. And that's what we just did last night. So what qualifies for an off-cycle recommendation? 2 things. 1, emergencies, and 2, market opportunities. An emergency is defined as a dire emergency caused by fire, storm, or other unanticipated disaster. A market opportunity identifies a need or desire in the marketplace that is a one-time opportunity. For example, land or property that is available for sale that abuts conservation land. The CPC may purchase the land to increase the open space in a neighborhood. And this is the part where I'm questioning if you want to add this or not. It is important to note that the CPC does not have an emergency fund. When an off-cycle application is approved, the revenue is credited against the next fiscal year's budget and results in less funding for future projects. For this reason, an off-cycle application or recommendation is rare. There are times when a current project doesn't move forward, and when that happens, the funds are returned to the account to be used for additional grants in the next funding cycle. Potential applicants who believe that their circumstances call for such unusual action may contact the CPC chair to discuss possible submission.
I think that's an important one to add, because it defines the one that you just talked about. It defines the fact that we don't have an emergency fund and where that money is coming from. And so for somebody to say, well, you have an emergency fund, it's clearly stated here. I think that's, without going into much detail, it explains the whole thing. I think that's very good.
Yeah, I guess I agree hearing it again. The only suggestion that I would make is it should read the revenue is deducted from the next fiscal year. Is credited against, to me, is a little bit more convoluted. But I defer to other committee members.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Deducted.
Deducted from.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right. And basically, we've used 2 of those when we purchased the property, with Autobahn, and the recent fire.
Well, no, that
no.
Autobahn was not an out-of-cycle recommendation. We took the unusual step because we had both, let's call it the built-up fiscal year money. That is what funds our projects, but we also had an approved budget for the coming fiscal year. So what we did is, given that we had a cap, we took
Yeah.
250,000 from the current year that we had accrued the money, and we
Right.
promised another 250. So that's not an off cycle. The
Right,
only
right,
other
right.
time we did an off cycle was when the second developer of the Parsons apartment building up at 169 Maple Street came to us. You know, that's a building that we'd given the developer money. He had not performed. It was a city tax foreclosed building that the city had sold him, and the city has clawback provisions that say if you're not moving to the space that we like, we can take it back. They took back the building. We terminated our agreement with him. And then the city awarded the building to a new developer who came and said, I'd really like a commitment now because it will help with my financing. And we went to city council, and they granted it, but some of them were not happy. So the same thing happened last night. They ultimately granted the request for 37 George Street. It was not a unanimous vote. It was an 11-3 vote. And there were several councilors that were not happy that this was an off-cycle application, and started talking about, well, how do other people access this emergency fund? And Karen and I tried to make sure they understood this is not, we don't have an emergency fund. We will consider applications on an emergency basis. But then the conversation went into, well, what's an emergency? Is someone's collapsing porch an emergency? You know, and in my feeling is, no, that's been a porch that's been neglected over the years. It was not an unforeseen problem,
Right.
like a fire or a tornado.
Mhm.
So, if people are content with this, we could move on to
I just have a comment on the definition paragraph there. I would, market opportunity part, I would just say, just to emphasize that it's, coming up at a sort of a unexpected time. I would say, for example, land or property that becomes available for sale that abuts conservation land, just to give you the implication that it's not just sitting there, but it becomes in the real time available. That's kind of technical, but the other thing I would say is CPC may, last sentence, CPC may provide funding to purchase the land. We're not going to purchase it ourselves specifically, so I would just put that in there.
That was a couple of sentences that I was having a little bit of trouble with. I wasn't sure if it made CPC sound like they're the only ones that can do it, but at least clarifying it that we're providing funding is a little bit better. We're not buying it.
No.
The market opportunity, and the same thing with, what if that land's been up for sale for 6 months, as opposed to it became on the market a week ago. I found that paragraph just a little confusing on the market opportunity, but those things help clarify it.
Okay. So Karen, you can take out the question mark in front of the,
Okay.
yeah. 'Cause the
So
committee
it's
used
important
the-
to make a quick note too, is when we funded the Abbey Brook with the current funding of 250 and then took 250 from the next year's funding, that less, I mean, it makes sense, of course, but it left 250,000 less for us to fund other projects that year. So it's not a practice that was like the only time that we did that, is use the previous
Correct.
year. Yeah, other than the Parsons house, which was also the same situation, taking it from the next year's funding. So I guess, that would be, that's where emergency money would come from, is the next year if it had to be used. So, all right. So we're done here. So this, I think, was added last time, if you saw
Yeah,
it or
I
not.
think we agreed to add that.
Do
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Um, this was just some editing and cleaning up of the language. If anyone has comments on it or. Mm.
Karen, is there a reason why the draft has some lines highlighted? Or is that just something that will disappear you know?
Well, no, when I cut and pasted this document or this, it was highlighted.
Oh, I see.
And I'm trying to figure out how to remove it and I can't.
Yeah.
So
Okay. All right.
it has to stay in.
Don't worry about it.
Right. In some cases, abandonment occurs because renovation costs exceed the value of property. And this is under the category of housing rehabilitation. The trend towards construction for profit developers or private real estate firms to build or convert an existing building or renovate larger housing projects into multiple rental units is incentivized with existing state and federal grants or tax credits. But there are a few programs available for 2 and 3 family owner occupied houses. So I know we've talked about this before, is opening up like the Historic Homes program to landlords of 2 and 3 family homes, which we haven't done, or if there's a separate program to help those folks out. So anyway, that's why that's in there. Because they're small developers and they don't see the same kind of funding that these large developers do.
Okay. Any questions on this section? All right. Next, Karen.
This just was edited for clarity too about the Historic Homes program. And I just need to update this chart after tonight of how many homes have been selected in each of the districts. And that's it. There's nothing else in the plan that you haven't seen before.
Perfect.
Okay.
That's it, folks.
Okay. So obviously the draft, once we vote, the word draft will come out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So if we could have a motion to accept the plan for 2026.
I make a motion, we accept the 2026 plan.
Right?
Second.
Second by Willie. Okay. So any discussion? Otherwise, we'll take the vote. So hearing no comments or discussion, Juanita,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
Rosemary,
Yes.
and Bob is a yes. All right.
Rhonda, do you have a question? I see your hand.
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
Okay.
All right. So the next item is to look at the actual application and the instructions for folks who will be applying to us in 2026. So just a reminder, at our January 6th meeting, we will be having our annual workshop for people who want to know how to apply. And so we need to have the application and the instructions ready by then. And that will precede our regular meeting. Although we may not have much business, who knows what will come in before then. And then we've set the deadline that applications are due on the last Wednesday in February. And then begins our busy season where we meet twice a month. So Karen, do you have the application to put on screen share?
Yes, before I do that, I just want to let you know, I did contact all the members who aren't here tonight. Judy is a little under the weather, so she won't be joining us. Juanita popped right in. And Patrice and Yolanda haven't responded. So
Okay.
I don't know
All
whether
right.
to expect them or not. One clarification about what Bob said is that the deadline to apply is Thursday, not Wednesday, of February 25th, I think. Hold on, let me pull it up.
I thought we said in the plan that we voted on the date a while ago. It was February 25th. And February 25th is a Wednesday.
Okay, so
Oh, we have the
February,
26th. Okay,
right,
I
the
was wrong.
25th was the 2025 date.
I
So
see.
it was one
Okay,
day off. Yep,
thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, so this is the application. It's also available on our webpage. This is just the instructions for the application for those that are new. The application is an online fill in the blanks. Did you say something, Steve?
No.
Okay. I mean, this is all the same, except this line was put in community housing priorities. And it's put in, and Bob, you want to explain?
Well, this is because the state law specifically says that whenever possible, we should be reusing existing buildings or building on land that was previously developed. So we want these developers to know that if you're building new housing, please be looking for vacant lots that had houses that were torn down, or vacant land like Gemini, which used to be a factory site until the factory burned, as opposed to going out in 16 acres and finding a well-treed lot. And I do want to add as an update for the committee, I happened to be at Oak Grove Cemetery last week, and I did a drive down, oh God, I'm blanking on the name, but the street that we had two proposals for housing being built there, and the houses are up.
Really? Huh,
So the lack of CPA money didn't stop the construction, at least.
interesting.
Wow.
Check that out.
Okay. Okay, I did add this line under open space and recreation priorities. That projects in this category require a maintenance schedule to maintain a completed project. I don't know if you want to leave that in, but that was one of the concerns in the past, that we fund a project and then, the garden doesn't get weeded. So, anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
That's something you want to keep in. Okay. After our discussion today, Bob, maybe this is sufficient that's in here for the application. I did tweak it a little bit. So the preservation consultant does not review projects that have been placed. Oh, I want to make sure that this is accurate. That's why my little question mark here. The preservation consultant will make recommendations that must meet before CPA funding is expended. The preservation consultant does not review projects that have been placed on the National Registry of Historic Places. Is that correct?
Well, it's not that, they could also be on the state register. So the preservation consultant does not review projects that are applying for the federal or state historic tax credits.
Okay,
Because
important
that- and-
distinction
and-
there.
And that's because the Massachusetts Historical Commission will be doing that. So in those cases, we only need a letter that says that their work complies. All of these applicants who are applying for the historic tax credits will ultimately get a letter for their files and for the IRS that says the project complies, and we want a copy of that for our file.
Okay, so good. Now let's talk about the Paramount Theater and whether Shannon should review that property because they're in the process of getting historic credits. So I'm looking at projects like that, and also across the street, there's another National Historic Project on Hamden Street, or they're in the National Registry. So, well, they didn't apply for historic credits though
Well,
on Hamden Street.
So the building on Hamden Street, which is on the National Register, but they are not planning to apply for the historic tax credit, needs to be reviewed by Shannon.
Right, okay.
The Paramount Theater, if they are going to be applying for the historic tax credits, they don't need to be reviewed by Shannon because the Massachusetts Historical Commission will be reviewing them.
Okay, but even if that takes a few years before them to actually get all that in place. And what if they don't get the credits? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only a roof. It's not a slate roof. It's just yeah.
Yeah,
So, I mean, it's
yeah.
not a big deal for this one, but those are some of the issues committee that come up, these gnarly rabbit hole issues.
Yeah.
Okay. 9 paper copies. So who wants paper and who can go with digital?
Karen, I'm gonna switch to digital.
Get out, Juanita.
Whoa.
What?
All right. So
that's a big step.
I want paper.
Paper for me. I'm doing paper.
Paper for me too.
My gosh, you guys.
Rhonda, what about you?
I'll do digital and I'll print it out myself.
Okay.
Nasty. Ooh.
And
Wow.
so
I like paper, but I can do digital and then print it myself as well.
Oh, that's a
okay.
lot of printing. That's
Yeah.
a lot of printing, Rosemary.
Because each one would have, 9 paper copies, and depending on how many applications.
And then there are
Well,
photos and
Well, but
stuff,
you know, they have photos, they have their budgets,
Okay.
have site
Right,
Yeah.
but hold on. All of those applications are put into a Google folder so everyone has access to look at them. So maybe only you want to print certain pages out.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So you'll have them available digitally, even if you have a request for a paper copy.
Thank you.
You get both. Okay, anyone else want a paper copy? I've got Willie, Bob, and Steve.
Well, you'll need to check before you do this, you'll need to check with the 3 missing committee members
All righty, I can do
to
that.
see what they want.
Okay, and then these are just the details. The copies have to be postmarked by the 26th, Thursday, the 26th, hand delivered, and I will contact Gladys in the clerk, the election office, to see if we can still use the drop off there for applications. And that's it. So I can show you the application itself if you would like to see it.
No, that's okay.
Well, the only
Well,
thing is, it's the same application.
Right,
Right.
right.
And for the two new people.
Oh, I forgot.
Maybe just, yeah, maybe just one paper copy to see.
No. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This thing keeps getting in the way. All right, here we go. Okay, so this is what the application looks like. So they go online and then just start filling this out. And the application starts with the type of applicant that they are, their neighborhood. These are drop down boxes.
Okay,
And there are links in here where they can look up the parcel number, the map number, and they can take a
So
picture
Karen,
of
let
the
me
map.
stop you for a second.
Okay.
On what we saw earlier on the instructions, did
Mhm.
we make it clear that not only do we want 9 copies of or however many paper copies of the application, but we want that many copies of all of the attachments? Because we just had an applicant who sent us the application and because it wasn't clear that we, not only that, if your budget is an attachment, we want that in paper. If you've got designs in it's an attachment, we want that in paper.
Well, it does say right here, provide a list of all attachments included in the application, but I can make that more.
but they may just
What-
see it as writing up the list, but not giving you the attachments.
Okay. All right. I'll make that clear.
I'm concerned more about in the instructions, when we say we want 9 copies in paper, is it clear that it's 9 copies of the application and all attachments?
Well, let's fix that
So
right
I'm
now.
talking about the previous document.
Okay.
So, yep, there it is. Yeah, so we want 9 copies of the application and all attachments.
Nice.
I have no intention of going to the Google Drive and looking at attachments.
Okay.
And it
All right.
should, I think you need to there's another place where it says 9 paper copies, so we need to reuse that wording. Yes, and all attachments. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay. So anyway, this is what the application looks like. And what's good about it is that if you are applying in any category, say it's historic, then the community housing and the recreation questions won't appear. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So if they
you
don't apply, they go away.
correct. If they apply in 2 areas, so if they click both these boxes, then, 2 areas will show. But at least so they don't have to, and you don't have to review when you're looking at these applications, you don't have to look at NAs, not
Okay.
applicable. And I mean, I think that's it. Unless you have any recollection of the applications from last year, anything that bothered you about them that you wished was in a different
bothers, so I
order.
have, yeah, let me grab an application, just right back.
Okay. Okay. Discard changes. I don't want the changes, but I do want. Yeah, this is what it looks like when it's printed.
Well, so I guess here's what sort of just bothered me is not only do we get the answers, which of course I want, we also get printed out the various instructions and explanations, which is not relevant for us. But I'm
Right.
assuming there's no way that we can not get rid of that as,
Well, I tried last year, but I will look again. I'll send a note to the Cognito team and see if there's any way to suppress
Yeah.
that information when
Yeah.
it's printed.
or at least, for example, all of the instructions right at the beginning, the first page of the application is literally, 3/4 of it is the instructions and where to drop it off and all that stuff. And you don't actually get into the meat of the data until 3/4 of the way down the page. Now, if it can't be done or if it's difficult, it's not the end of the world, but
All right. I'll look into that and see if we can do anything about it.
all right.
I mean, it would save paper as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, that's
Yeah.
true. All right, so any questions from the committee? Otherwise, we'll have a vote to adopt the proposed application and instructions for 2026. Not
So
hearing it.
move. So
All
move.
right, all right. And any comments? So we'll then take the vote. Steve,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
Juanita,
Yes,
Rosemary,
Yes.
and Bob is a yes.
I see
So
that Yolanda,
Yolanda's here.
Oh, Yolanda's here? Oh.
I don't know when she
Sorry.
popped in.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't see you, Yolanda. Do you want to vote on this one?
I know about it, I read it, so they would get my
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. All right. So we're good to go. For everything that basically covers what we have to adopt. Karen, do you have any administrator updates?
No, but we are having the workshop on January 6th at the next meeting. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And just for Rosemary, this is something we've done. It's actually, we have it on our website, but we refresh it every year and do it live for people who have questions and are interested in applying. It takes maybe altogether 45 minutes, and then we have our own regular meeting of immediately following it.
And does it start at 6 o'clock?
It starts at 6, yes.
Okay.
So, I guess the only thing I forgot to say is, well, no, I guess I did say it. So the city council approved both of our recommendations last night. George Street 11-3, and the gun block was I believe a unanimous vote. So we will be moving ahead with doing contracts with both of those.
I don't think the gun block was unanimous. I'll
Unanimous?
have to look at
Okay.
that again.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it
they all passed.
Yes, they all passed. And it took far less time to deal with the gun block issue than it took with 37 George Street.
Well,
Yes.
why am I
it
not
did.
surprised,
Yeah,
Bob?
well, it's a difficult project,
It's a
and-
very
and-
difficult project.
Yeah, and certainly, we're happy, certainly the homeowners are happy and the new owner of the gun block was happy. So now we just have to make sure that we produce something so city council can be happy. Just as an aside, this past week, Yolanda and Juanita and Steve and I went to the event at the Kilroy House, which was a press conference for the completion of that historic building, which we funded over a 3-year cycle period. The mayor was there and spoke very fondly of the good work that CPA is doing. The state representative Gonzalez was there. State Senator Jake Olivero was there, and State Rep, oh God, I'm blanking on his first name. Is it Michael Ash?
Brian,
Brian
Brian Ash. Yeah.
Brian Ash. were there, and the house obviously looks great, and the museums are most appreciative of CPA because we've helped them on the Art Museum, on the Smith Museum, on the Science Museum, and on Blake House. So they've done very well with CPA.
Well, don't forget about the Springfield Preservation Trust, which was a few days before that on a
Right.
Saturday, as just a celebration to see what was done to date. And is that a copper? Is
Yes, it
Cornice.
is.
Cornice.
Is it called what is it called?
A cornice.
A cornice, right?
Cornice.
Cornice, which is beautiful on there, and the bricks look great, and yeah, nice job.
Unfortunately, I screwed up because I'd gotten those emails in the very beginning before I was even sworn in, and never put them on my calendar. So when I saw it, it was like, oh, I should have put them on my calendar, but I'll be at the
Yeah.
next one.
Okay, great.
And
Rosemary,
Bob made
yeah.
his specialty hot milled cider.
Mold.
Oh, mulled cider. I love
cider.
mulled
It was
cider.
good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the Kilroy House was a lot of good media coverage for us. That was a really
And
good one.
delicacies.
Yeah, I was disappointed that I blew it
Yeah.
off accidentally. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Karen, did you forward to the committee members the video that Focus Springfield did on that?
I didn't.
So why don't, yeah,
But-
so Focus Springfield was there, and they did a 15-minute video that really focuses on all of the speakers, but also then went inside the house and took some footage there as well. So
is it
if-
possible to get that?
yeah,
Yeah, I'll forward it
Wonderful.
to you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
good, good. And Rosemary, did you have a chance to look at the boot camp video at the coalition?
No, I didn't.
I'll
Okay.
re-forward that too at the same
Thank you.
time. Okay.
Yeah, you know, I rewatched it because it really is a good thing as a reminder. So I would urge all of our committee members to you can go to the the Community Preservation Coalition and find their video, their training video on how to do CPA.
And it's actually boot camp is the name of it.
It's
Yes.
Okay.
CPA boot camp. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just crazy with Thanksgiving coming up and
Yeah.
company and
Oh,
all
yeah,
that.
that's
So
fine.
I wasn't in the groove yet.
Yeah,
I
All
will be,
right.
Bob. I promise.
all right. So if we could have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right, someone
Second.
want to second that?
Second.
All right, and I'm just gonna, everyone can say yes or wave and we'll-
Congratulations again, everyone who won
Guys, have
tonight.
great holidays.
Yeah,
Yeah.
happy
Have a good
holidays.
holiday.
Same to you.
Thanks so much. Oh, and Karen, can you email us the address, the top 10 addresses?
Yeah. I'll do that right now.
Okay,
Yeah. And again, I'm sorry I wasn't paying attention of the day.
oh well.
It was
Fortunately, we
worries.
didn't have, fortunately, we had a quorum, so that.
Yeah. Snow brain. Okay, thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
see ya.
Thank you, Karen,
Bye.
for all your hard
Welcome.
work.
Yeah.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.